Good morning to all our viewers and followers. Welcome to another episode of Swoo Morning here on the channel Swoodio. I'm Jennifer Sarah, and of course we've got interesting topics and great guests for you as always. Our first guest has been here before, but the short amount of time that we had wasn't enough to discuss all topics we wanted to talk about, and that's why he's back holding a master's degree in Business International with high distinction and currently doing his PhD in Business Management. But not only that, he's writing his own book, and he's planning on becoming one of the Forbes top 20 CEOs in the world. A very ambitious plan, but he is more than willing to put in the hard work. Welcome back, Jihad Sadiq.
Thank you so much. It's
Thank
a pleasure.
you for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here again.
Can you tell us first up what you would say is success?
I would say success in a very simple word is the continuity of achievements. When you keep achieving every day something, that is success. Because some people identify success by only achieving, but it's not. And success could be anything. So what I believe is success in terms of using a very simple, practical definition is the continuity of achieving your things every day and every hour and every month and every year and for your entire life.
Okay, and at what point would you say does success start?
Okay, I think success starts from planning. Okay. I believe so much in planning, and I also believe that people who plan, by default, they become successful. Okay. So if you plan everything you do, from the time you wake up until the time you sleep, from the time you decide that you want to become successful until the time God takes your soul, if you believe in planning, then by default you're going to become successful. And that's not a difficult practice. It's a very simple and clear practice that anyone could do.
Okay. So you have a planning strategy.
Yes.
Can you explain it to us?
All right. So I'll use the board.
Yes, please.
To explain this. And in order for us to plan, I need to identify two things. All right. So first, I will start with this question because I think this question is fundamental to planning. What is your strategy? What does it mean? What's your purpose? Why do you wake up in the morning? What do you wake up for? Do you know where you're going to become 5 or 10 or 15 years from now? You know, this question is very challenging because a lot of people that I've asked before, let's say 95% of them, they don't know their purpose. Okay. They're actually shocked by me asking them this question because they don't have an identified answer. So your strategy for planning is your identified answer. It's your purpose. It's your goal. It's your conclusion.
Do you have an example?
Of course. If you remember, in our last interview, you've asked me what do you want to become? And I asked you, I told you I want to become a giver. So my strategy at the end is to become interdependent and to become someone who is a giver in life. To give back to the environment, to the community, to my family, to my friends, to anyone who has contributed or not yet contributed in my life. But I would like to give back. Because I believe, and I told you this before, I believe that giving for giving is getting twice, and giving for getting is getting less. So I want to give so I can get more. So first of all, you need to identify your goal, and that's your purpose, all right? And to identify your purpose, you need to identify three things. One of the three things is first your principles. So you need to identify your principles in terms of, for example, my principle is money, let's say. My principle is family. My principle is health. And everyone has his own principle. But you really need to identify your principles. You need to know what are they. in order for you to establish your strategy. And then once you identify your principle, very simply, I want you to draw a circle.
Okay.
Imagine yourself here. So this is me, all right? And put all your principles on those little shapes within the circle and identify them by saying, I am the center of those principles. So no one principle that could take the most of me. Okay. I am a principle-centered person. So I am in here and I can divide myself based on my strategies, purpose, and based on my daily activities to distribute all of that between my principles. All right? Okay. So I can achieve what at the end, the core me. All right? So once you identify your principles, second, you put in your goals. So what is my goal?
To become a giver?
To become a giver, okay. But then you have to identify those goals. How do you want to become a giver? Okay. So I want to become a giver through giving back education, through giving back social support, through giving back money, through giving back knowledge, through giving back for what and to whom. So you need to identify your goals. You know, I always say that the human mind is a missile.
Okay.
And if there is no target, the missile is going to reach nowhere because it doesn't know its target. But if there is a target, all right, and the missile goes, but the target changes its place, still the missile is going to go and follow the target. So you have to know your targets, and your targets are your goals. So you need to identify your goals. Okay. Third, you need to identify your time. This is very interesting because we grew up by people telling us you need to graduate from school when you are 17. You need to join university immediately. You need to find a job once you graduate from university. You need to get married when you're 27. You need to have children when you are 30. You need to do your master's degree. It's like someone is telling you when is your time.
So basically you're talking about the timeline, not the time during the day.
It's your timeline. Okay. What I want you to know here is when is my timeline. So I want to become a giver. And I want to achieve my purpose. But for my time, I said I want to do this in 15 years. Okay. Maybe you want to do this in 10 years. Maybe he wants to do this in 30 years. You have your time. So don't restrict yourself to whatever people tell you. You can tell yourself when is your time. Your time is your time. It's not anyone else's time. So you set your time. And this is very important, by the way, because planning is always attached to time.
And do you set the timeline for your overall purpose, or do you set it for the individual goals?
For your individual goals. Okay. And, of course, for your overall purpose, by the way, because I'm going to go now through the table. Okay. I'm going to show you how do you put the time for everything. All right, so you identified your time, and then there are, I call them objectives. So there are 4 objectives that we follow while planning. One is dream. Second is belief. Third is trust. And fourth is done. All right? I know that you like the last one.
Yes.
All right. So now I'm going to just wipe the board and explain to you the planning process.
Okay.
All right?
I'll just hold on tight here as well.
All right. Simplicity is creativity. If you make things complicated, you will never understand, and you will never be creative. If you want to be creative and innovative, you need to put things very simple. That's why we all love iPhones. I don't know who uses a Samsung, don't go against me. But I like iPhone because it's a friendly user thing. It's simple. So simplicity always attracts people. So it's very simple practice. You can do it at home. Anyone can do it with their paper and a pen. The structure goes like this. First, I need to identify my dream, which is I call a leader. And that's the purpose in life. And let's say I want to become and you say.
Okay.
This is, for example, for me, is 15 years. But what I would suggest is it's a 10 to 15 years practice. So in 10, that's like the optimum goal. But it's something, I call it a dream. Why? Because you can only foresee it, but you don't know if it's going to happen or not. You're just dreaming about it. You're visualizing it. You want to become this person, but you're only dreaming it. You don't see it. It's out there. It's something that you feel it's impossible. It's something that is, you understand that it's difficult, but you dream about it because you want to become this person. And then second, you go on the 5 to 7 years plan. Now again, those times are my times.
Yeah.
You could have your own time. And here you have to go with the beliefs, and which is I call the manager. We have it's like an organizational structure for a company, you know. And I learned this from Peter Drucker. It's the founder of modern management, and he always identifies things, even in life, by categorizing them this way. So beliefs are things that you know that you can achieve them. So you know, but it's not achieved yet.
Okay.
But you can see it. So it's not something that you are scared of. It's something that you know that you could achieve, but it's going to take you some time.
Okay.
And this time is 5 to 7, 3 to 4, 7 to 10. It's up to you. So I say, for example, I want to do my PhD. Okay? So to do my PhD, by default, this practice is going to take 7 years. All right? Take 5 years. It's going to take time. So I say I want to get married. I want to have a Lamborghini. I want to have my own business. I want to have a $3 million in my account. I want to have something. So I set up my goals, and I put those goals for the next 5 to 7 years based on my principles. So what are my principles? Again, you have to align them together so you can follow the process one by one. But it's very simple. Then we go to the third practice here, and it's trust. I like trust. Trust is nice. Everyone can only trade things when there is trust. And if the trust is eliminated, you can't do a thing. You're always scared, so you don't do it.
So is it trust in yourself?
You have to trust in yourself. But here, since I'm dealing with this table, I need to trust this table. Okay. So, to trust, there is someone here who's doing the work, and I call him a worker. That's me, of course. And this is the 1 year plan. For example, in our last interview, I told you about my 30-30 vision. And I told you that I make this every year, but last year I wanted to have a changing strategy for the rest of the next 30 years. So I put in my goals. I usually put in 7 goals for the year. So every year, I've been doing this for 5 years. Very successful practice, I can tell you for sure. I put in my goals for this year. So for example, for this year, I want to make $1 million. I want to buy a car because this car is going to take me from where I live to where my university is. Or it can take me to work. I can drive it on the highway. It's not going to break down on the middle of the street. I need to move my apartment so it's closer to university and work, for example, closer to my friends so I can have a stronger relationship with them. So I'll do the apartment, I'll move my where I live in this year. It's a plan. I say I want to change my job. For example, if I'm working, I don't think that my job is securing enough finance for me to do my PhD. So I say this year, in my time, I think it's going to take me 7 months, 8 months, whatever. I decided to do this thing in this year. So I know what are my goals, and those goals that they are something that I trust. Trust, it means I can do them. You can change your job. And you can buy a car.
Do you identify what kind of a car you want to buy and what kind of a job you want to have?
Well, yes, I can do that.
Okay.
And I really do it, by the way. Because it's, sometimes I visualize, like my car now, it's something that I visualized 10 years back.
Okay.
Right? So you have to, of course you need to identify those things. For example, let's say I want to make $1 million, right? To make $1 million, very simply,
to buy a cheap car.
You have to divide it. You have to divide it into 12. And once you divide it into 12, you will get a number. And this number, You can divide it into even weeks, and you will know how much money you need to make every week.
Okay.
And this comes exactly like, okay, I'm not going to buy an expensive car because if I buy an expensive car, I cannot make $1,000.
Yeah.
Or I need to change my job because my current income is $30,000 a month. I need to make it $40,000 a month, whatever. I need to establish this whole thing. Maybe I need to meet more friends. Maybe I need to enhance my network. Maybe I need to meet people who are into finance, not people who are just wasting my time to, I don't know, do something that is not going to make me $1 million.
Yeah.
All right? And I'm not focusing on money, by the way. So don't take me, because I'm into economics. That's why I always mention the money part. But it could be anything. Not everyone's goal in life is just to make money. Maybe they want to become happy. So how do you become happy?
Okay.
There are things that you need to follow, of course. So this is the 1 year practice, and I call it the trust, because I trust that I can achieve those things. Now the very interesting part that I know that you've been waiting for is
when you're done.
when you're done. Okay. So
Let me just hold this for you. So would it be when you're done with the 1 year, or the 3 to 5 years, or the overall goal?
no, that's my weekly practice.
Okay.
When I'm done. Done, it means I have already talked to myself, and I've already said to myself, I'm going to do this, but it's already done.
Okay.
It's like you work with someone, your colleague, and you tell them, listen, could you do this for me? You're asking this colleague to do this thing for you, but you already believe that it's done because they can finish it. It's like your manager asks you for something. Hey, can you do me this report? I want it next Sunday. Done. Done, because you believe, you trust, you dream, you whatever.
Yeah.
You know it's 100% done. Khalas, it's done.
Okay.
All right? So the done process is very interesting. And I divide this into 4 categories. Right? So I take the goals, which I have in my 1 year practice, and every week, so this is a weekly thing, every week, I prefer to do this at the last day of my weekend. So I consider my weekend is the start of my week.
Okay.
So I start my week relaxing, not my week resting, working. So I start my week relaxing. And on my relaxing time, where I'm not stressed out, I'm distracted from, separated from everything, I start my weekly plan and I say, okay, so I put in my goals. So I say, based on the 1 year goal. So I say this goal is to make, for example, again, I'm going back to the money part, to make $1 million. And because I have divided this by 12 and then again by the number of weeks, I said I need to make, for example, $30,000 this week.
Okay.
All right? Just for example, maybe $1,000, maybe $500, whatever. So to achieve this, I need to put in the activity. So I say the activity, I will achieve this by doing 1, 2, 3. So if I'm selling something, I say, okay, I need to sell 1,000 pieces of this product. If I'm doing a service, then I need to deliver 3 reports to my clients, or I need to make 5 more clients, whatever. I need to put the activity so I know how can I achieve my goal. And third, which is also important, you put the time. So you say, I'm going to meet 3 clients on Sunday, and I'm going to meet 5 clients on Monday. And I'm not meeting anyone on Tuesday, but I'm meeting 10 people on Wednesday. I'm going to make calls on Thursday. You need to identify the activity and the time and stick to it. Why are we doing this? Because I want you to stick to the plan. It's not like someone's called me, hey, let's play a football match. That is not on my calendar. I cannot play football now. I'm sticking to my goals.
But it could be fun, though.
Yeah, but still, I'm still sticking to my goals. Because in my end of the week, or let's say on Wednesday night, I do have a plan to work out. But you can't change my calendar. My calendar says I'm doing this at this time. I will stick to it. Now, the secret is, by the way, I know this sounds funny, but the secret is most successful people has only succeeded because they've been doing this. They stick to their plan. They know exactly how to say no. They love to say no. And they're masters in how to say no and how to say yes. But they are masters in how to say no.
Okay.
So they know how to say no because they have a plan. They don't just randomly say no because they're moody today and they're okay, no. No, they have a plan. So they stick to their plan. And because I'm sticking to my plan, I know this is done.
Okay.
I'm sticking to it. No matter what happens, I'm sticking to it. Someone is going to call me, hey, listen, there's a family meeting. I really, really treasure and religiously love family, but if this meeting is going to go against my goal, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do the thing that is related to my work. And I will find time for my family as my schedule. So if my schedule says I'm meeting my family on Friday, that's when I'm meeting my family. Let them all reschedule their schedules based on my schedule, because I need to learn how to say no.
But then they won't be listening to you if they're rescheduling.
Trust me, they will love the ambition that you have. They will love how you are strict with your schedules. People will love, and I love I learned this from a pilot, by the way.
Okay.
Right? I have a friend that I really love, is my best friend, and every time I call him, before, I was like, man, let's do this. No, I have a schedule. I can only meet you on Wednesday, and he gives me the date and the time. I can meet you on Wednesday, on the 25th of April, from 5 to 6. That's it. And I love him. You know, I actually look forward to the meeting. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll put this, how can I, and he calls me like an hour before, hey, don't forget, we have a meeting today. Or he calls me a day before, he sends me a WhatsApp, we have a meeting before. Why? Because he's planned, he's scheduled, and I love him. And everyone who really wish the best for you and the best for your success, and they're looking really after that, and they believe on you, they will love this. And they will love what you're doing, and they will believe on you doing it.
Okay, but do you have one last piece of advice, 4 things to start with?
Okay. Just before we do that, I want to say something. Why did we divide this into 4? All right? First of all, because I took one goal from my 7 goals that I had every year. So I took one goal, second goal, and I put here the 3rd goal. And I said, I will focus this week, and that's what I like as well, that you don't just work in different sites and different things. No, you actually set 3 goals. And you say, I'm going to do this goal, this goal, this goal, and you plan them like this. All right? Here, you put the other activities which are not related to your goals. Okay. So I need to take my car for service. I need to do my pedicure and manicure. I need to do my hair.
That needs to be in the goal, though.
Well, that's essential for some people, and maybe for others they're not. Okay, so those are random miscellaneous activities that we don't do as a goal, but we do them randomly every day. I need to wash, I need to do the laundry, I need to iron my clothes, whatever. I need to go somewhere, I need to pay my bills, so I need to go somewhere. It's other goals that I put them here and also set an activity and a time for them, but they are not a priority for me. Now back to your question. What do I suggest? 1, read and listen. Okay. Reading and listening entertains your mind. I read a lot and I listen a lot. There are audiobooks everywhere. There are very nice broadcasts everywhere. YouTube. Just open YouTube. Put whatever you want. Anything related to your dream. Put it there and listen and listen and listen. And take your time listening and reading. Read as much books as you can. One reason, again, entertain your mind. Second, workout. Activity. Be active. People who are active usually gets the motivation by default. And I'm not saying you need to go to the gym and work out 3 hours a day. No. But constantly keep on doing an activity. Okay, work out, do something at home, do a few push-ups at home, walk with a friend outside. Okay, take your calls while you're pitching sales by walking around the neighborhood or doing it on the treadmill. Just stay active. Walk. Now, the 4th thing is have a calendar. I had a manager, and he once asked me a question. He said, what do you have? And he mentioned a day randomly. What do you have, for example, on Saturday? So I told him, and then he was like, and then I was like, nothing. He was like, how come you don't have a calendar? I said, no, I don't have a calendar. He said, well, you're not going to become successful. You won't have my position. because only people who have a calendar, they are successful. So what I always advise people, since we have technology everywhere, you can use your phone, your paper and a pen, anything, have a calendar.
Okay.
Calendar. Put it on schedule. That's it. Have a calendar for everything you do. You don't have to stick to it, but have a calendar. Fourth, and I love this as well, relax.
Okay.
Take your time to rest. Rest and relax. Take your time doing it.
So do I have to put that in my calendar as well?
Yeah, put it in your calendar. But because that's a daily practice, you have to go and sleep. You know, I like this example. They tell you the cheetah, the animal, the cheetah. We know that the cheetah is the fastest animal on land. It goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.0 seconds. That's really fast. But what we don't know is that the cheetah sleeps at least 18 hours a day.
Oh my God, okay.
So if you rest...
I need to become a cheetah in the next...
not 18 hours a day, but if you rest well, then you can have all the clarity and the concentration to do your goals and to achieve them and to do your daily activities and to achieve them as well. And always believe in yourself that every day matters. Every day is a success story, and every day I need to achieve something.
Thank you so much. That was very inspiring. So, identify your plan, your goal, your purpose, and then get to planning. Thank you so much, Jihad Sadiq, for being here today, and we'll be back after a short break.